What is the purpose of drama? Let's explore this through mapping the arc of tragedy. I want to begin by comparing the structure of a screenplay with the structure of a dramatic work of art. In this example, we want to understand the screenplay through the tragedy of Shakespeare, specifically through the play Hamlet, Prince of Denmark. We know that with a three-act screenplay, there's a beginning, a middle, and an end. These are the three building blocks of all good screenplays. Now, if we take those building blocks and we map on top of that the exposition and character building that we find in a play, and we see that the play has the essence of conflict, and that conflict through rising action culminates in a climax. The climax then has a falling action and concludes in what is called the denouement, or the resolution, with a tone and moral. This is the five-act structure, also known as the plot diagram, which fits very nicely over the traditional three-act screenplay model. Now, in the case of Hamlet, just in the first act, there are almost 30 different characters introduced, and the exposition and character setting leads to the conflict rising action of the second act, and the third act, which I'll just summarize with this brief soliloquy, which says "to be or not to be," is perhaps one of the best known quotes from this play. And these are the various characters, all of whom interact with Hamlet in one way or the other. So if we take those models, we can combine them into what might be called the arc of tragedy, and it's a way to begin to storyboard with imaginative visuals. In the case of Hamlet, the first act of the exposition can be represented by the statement that Marcellus makes to Horatio, where he says something is rotten in the state of Denmark. The second act involves the killing of, or the mistaken killing of Hamlet by Polonius, and Hamlet intends to kill Claudius, but instead mistakenly kills Polonius. The third act is actually called the mousetrap scene. The fourth act is the falling action, where Laertes plots with Claudius to kill Hamlet. And finally we have the resolution, or the denouement, where Horatio turns from Hamlet, who is dying, to the stage to say, "Good night, sweet prince, and flights of angels sing thee to thy rest." This denouement is the final resolution for the audience. And significantly, the word denouement derives from the French word to untie or disentangle. And the denouement for this presentation is that the dramatic resolution actually unties us from conflict. It disentangles the audience from tragedy in order to form new inner bonds. And this is represented in the very first act, where Polonius advises his son Laertes with the words, "Those friends thou hast and their adoption tried, grapple them to thy soul with hoops of steel." And in a similar manner, we need to grapple to our own souls the dramatic characters in the play of Hamlet, Prince of Denmark.